The Persian Gulf, 1:47 p.m. A blazing afternoon sun, crystal clear waters. The USS Tempest, a Cyclone-class coastal patrol ship, her crew of 28 escorting an unmarked cargo vessel, their course deep into international waters. It was supposed to be a standard patrol mission, but the cargo they were protecting was anything but standard. It was $300 million of classified intelligence equipment, advanced electronic surveillance systems, their destination U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. Then on the horizon, 8 Iranian Revolutionary Guard vessels, fast attack boats closing in, high speed and aggressive formation. As they closed the distance, a voice crackled over the radio. American vessel, you are in Iranian territorial waters. Stop your engines, prepare for inspection. We are coming aboard. The USS Tempest's response was swift and absolute. Negative, we are in international waters. You are not authorized to approach our vessel. Maintain your distance immediately. But the Iranian boats did not slow down. They kept coming, their armed crews visible on deck. Boarding ladders at the ready, Tehran's plan was dangerously clear. Board the American ship, seize the priceless cargo, capture the crew and parade them on state television. The ultimate humiliation for the United States. Iran calculated they had the perfect scenario. One small American patrol ship, minimal weapons, against 8 of their attack boats. The numbers were overwhelming. But what they didn't know is that they had made 5 fatal miscalculations. First, the USS Tempest had already transmitted a distress signal, the very moment the Iranian boats turned aggressive. Second, just 18 nautical miles away, 2 U.S. Navy destroyers were closing in, steaming at flank speed. Third, 4 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters were already airborne launched from those very destroyers. Fourth, the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group was only 60 miles out, and it had just launched 12 Fa-18 Super Hornets. And fifth, that unmarked cargo vessel the Tempest was escorting, it was carrying a secret of its own, 12 Navy SEALs hidden below deck. Combat ready. Iran thought their target was one small patrol ship. It was a fatal mistake. They had just triggered the most devastating naval strike against the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy in the history of the Persian Gulf. What happened in the next 52 minutes would shatter Iran's naval command structure and send 23 vessels to the bottom. This is that story. The Persian Gulf, the world's most volatile waterway. Here, 75 U.S. Navy ships stand a constant watch. They protect the world's most critical oil shipping lanes. They maintain freedom of navigation. And they face Iranian harassment daily. But harassment usually means aggressive maneuvering, radio threats, and dangerous close passes. Not a full-blown boarding attempt. At 0900 hours, the USS Tempest departed Jebel Ali port in the UAE. The mission escort a civilian cargo vessel, the Pacific Guardian, through the Gulf to Bahrain. Estimated transit time 6 hours. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Chen, the Tempest commanding officer, laid out the mission for his crew. This is a sensitive cargo run. The vessel we're escorting carries classified electronic intelligence equipment. It is a high-value target. If Iranian forces attempt to interfere, we will defend that cargo at all costs. But there was something Chen couldn't tell his crew. U.S. naval intelligence had intercepted Iranian communications. The chatter suggested the Revolutionary Guard Navy was planning a provocative action against American vessels sometime this week. The exact nature was unknown, but the threat level was elevated. At 1100 hours, Tempest and Pacific Guardian crossed into the open waters of the Persian Gulf. These were international shipping lanes, legal passage. At 12:15 p.m., Iranian coastal radar began actively tracking both vessels. This was a normal occurrence, but then the Iranian radio chatter intensified dramatically. U.S. signals, intelligence detected multiple urgent transmissions between swarms of Iranian fast attack boats and the Revolutionary Guard Naval Command in Bandar Abbas. Intelligence intercepts spoke of a target of opportunity, an American patrol ship, a valuable cargo, a chance to board. At 1:20 p.m., the threat became real. 8 fast attack craft from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They stormed out of the Bandar Abbas naval base. High speed, full throttle. Their course was a dagger aimed at the heart of the USS Tempest. But they weren't the only ones watching. At U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, an urgent warning was sent. Tempest Actual, be advised. You have 8 Iranian fast attack craft inbound on your position. ETA is 30 minutes. Rules of engagement remain defensive. Do not fire unless fired upon or a boarding is attempted. But you are authorized to defend your vessel and its cargo with all necessary force. Lieutenant Commander Chen ordered his crew to battle stations. Iranian boats inbound. This could be harassment, or it could be something much worse. Man all weapon stations, ready every defensive system. If they try to board, we stop them. Cold. The USS Tempest was a small ship, only 52 meters long, but she had teeth. A 25mm chain gun, 50 caliber machine guns, Mark 19 grenade launchers. She was designed for coastal patrol, a brawler, not a battleship. But against 8 dedicated attack boats, she was dangerously outnumbered. At 1:35 p.m., Commander Chen made a critical decision. He activated the ship's encrypted distress beacon. It was an automatic alert, a digital scream for help sent to every U.S. Navy vessel in the Persian Gulf. The message was clear: Guardian assist required. Iranian boats closing for possible boarding. We are defending classified cargo. At 1:38 p.m., the call was answered. The USS Milius and the USS Dewey, 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. They were patrolling just 18 nautical miles away. When the alert hit, Captain Jennifer Martinez of the Milius gave an immediate order: all ahead flank. Launch both helicopters. Get to the Tempest, now. If Iran even thinks about boarding that ship, we engage with everything we've got. 4 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters lifted into the sky, 2 from each destroyer armed with Hellfire missiles and heavy door-mounted machine guns. Then at 1:42 p.m., an aircraft carrier appeared, the USS Ronald Reagan. 60 miles out, the alert came in. Admiral Richard Hayes, commander of the Carrier Strike Group, he assessed the threat in mere seconds. The order was given: scramble 12 Super Hornets. Their mission: establish a combat air patrol directly over the Tempest. If the Iranian boats made a move to board, they were to be engaged and sunk. At 1:48 p.m., lethal force was authorized. On the water, 8 Iranian boats swarmed the USS Tempest. They formed an aggressive circle around the American patrol ship and the helpless cargo vessel, their engines roaring. Their crews were armed and clearly visible. A voice crackled over the radio in English from the Iranian lead boat. American ship, you are in Iranian waters. You are transporting illegal cargo. We are authorized to board and inspect your vessel. Stop your engines now. This was Commander Chen's response. Negative, we are in international waters. You have no authority here. Maintain your distance or you will be fired upon. The Iranians replied with open defiance. You cannot stop us. We are 8 boats. You are 1 small ship. We are coming aboard. Do not resist. Then the Iranian boats accelerated. They closed the distance, rapidly boarding teams with ladders visible. Grappling hooks were in hand. The time was 1:48 p.m. Commander Chen made the call. All weapons fire warning shots. Fire across their bows. Do not let them get any closer. The Tempest's 25mm chain gun roared to life. A thunderous blast. Shells tore through the air, splashing 50 meters ahead of the lead boats. 50 caliber machine guns opened up. Their tracers sliced across the water's surface. This was defensive fire, a final warning. But the Iranian boats did not stop. They ignored the warnings and kept coming. A fatal mistake. At 1:49 p.m., the first Iranian boat pulled alongside the Tempest. On the starboard side, grappling hooks flew through the air. A boarding ladder slammed against the hull. 3 Iranian Revolutionary Guard personnel. They were attempting to board a United States warship. The line had been crossed. Commander Chen's voice was ice. Repel boarders. Engage at point-blank range. American sailors unleashed a hail of fire from their M4 rifles. Point-blank range. 3 Iranian boarders are hit. They fall back, tumbling into their boat. A second Iranian boat closes in on the port side. More enemy boarders are attempting to climb. Then the Pacific Guardian, the civilian cargo vessel, suddenly comes to life. Hatches burst open. 12 Navy SEALs emerge from the shadows. They are in full combat gear, armed with M4 carbines, sniper rifles, and grenade launchers. The SEALs had been embedded on the cargo ship, waiting for exactly this scenario. A hidden protection detail, a lethal surprise for the Iranian boats. This is United States Navy SEAL team. You are attempting an illegal boarding of American vessels. Cease immediately, or you will be engaged with lethal force. The Iranian boats continued their attack. They didn't believe the threat, a fatal mistake. SEAL snipers open fire. Precision shots echo across the water. Iranian boat drivers are hit. Engines are targeted. Operators go down. The attack boats spin out of control. At 1:51 p.m., the situation is total chaos. 8 Iranian boats swarm 2 American vessels. Small arms fire erupts from both sides. The SEALs methodically pick off their targets. The Tempest weapon systems hammer the Iranian boats, but they are still outnumbered, still surrounded. Then at 1:52 p.m., the cavalry arrives. 4 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters scream overhead at just 200 feet. An American voice booms from a helicopter loudspeaker. Iranian vessels, this is the United States Navy. Disengage immediately. You are being targeted by attack helicopters, an inbound fighter aircraft. Break off now or you will be destroyed. The Iranian boats hesitate, their crews looking to the sky. They see 4 attack helicopters, door gunners clearly visible. Their weapons are pointed directly down. The Iranian lead boat radios back. We are the Revolutionary Guard Navy. We are authorized to board. The American commander cuts them off. You attempted to board a United States Navy vessel. You are now hostile combatants. You have 5 seconds to retreat or we open fire. The situation seemed to be de-escalating. 3 of the Iranian boats began to back away. Their engines reversed. The boarding attempt was abandoned. But at 1:53 p.m., one Iranian commander made a fatal miscalculation. He raised a shoulder-fired launcher and fired an anti-tank missile at the American helicopter. An RPG-7 streaked through the air, missing the aircraft by only 15 meters. That was the line. The rules of engagement had been met. The Iranian forces had fired first. The order was given, engage all hostile vessels. Weapons free, 4 Seahawk helicopters were unleashed. 8 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles roared to life. Each one acquired its own target. Fire and impact. 4 Iranian boats exploded in a chain reaction. Direct hits. The vessels disintegrated on the waves. The crews were killed instantly. The other 4 Iranian boats turned to run. A desperate high-speed retreat toward the Iranian coast. But it was too late. At 1:54 p.m., 12 FA-18 Super Hornets screamed into the fight. At Mach 1.2, their sonic boom cracked across the water. The call went out. All Rhinos weapons free. Sink those boats. 8 AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles dropped from their wings. It was extreme overkill for boats so small. But the message needed to be absolute. The last 4 Iranian boats were utterly obliterated. Nothing was left but shattered debris and burning fuel. By 1:56 p.m., just 9 minutes after the boarding attempt began, all 8 Iranian attack boats had been annihilated. The final assessment was grim. An estimated 84 Iranian Revolutionary Guard personnel were killed. The USS Tempest was damaged but remained afloat. 3 sailors were wounded by small arms fire. None were critical. The Pacific Guardian was untouched. 12 Navy SEALs were unharmed. Their classified cargo was secure. But for the Americans, the response had only just begun. At 1:57 p.m., the immediate threat was gone. But back at U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters, they were not satisfied with the defensive victory. Admiral Michael Warner, commander of the Fifth Fleet, he reviewed the battle footage. The evidence was undeniable. Iranian boats swarming, attempting an illegal boarding, firing their weapons at American helicopters. A brazen attack on a U.S. Navy vessel in international waters. In his assessment, this wasn't harassment. This was an act of piracy. An attempted seizure of an American ship and its cargo. An act that required a strategic response. At 1:58 p.m., Admiral Warner contacted U.S. Central Command. He requested authorization for follow-on strikes, not just on the boats, but on the Iranian Revolutionary Guard itself, their entire naval command infrastructure. They attempted to take a U.S. vessel. His message was clear: we need to eliminate their ability to ever attempt this again. The response from CENTCOM came in a stunning 90 seconds. Fifth Fleet, you are authorized for offensive operations. The targets: Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy bases and all command facilities. Primary objective: the Bandar Abbas Naval Command and all vessels within 50 kilometers. The order was simple: eliminate IRGCN capability in this sector. At 2 p.m., the USS Milius and the USS Dewey, now just 15 kilometers from the Tempest, they prepared for precision strikes. Each destroyer carried 90 Tomahawk cruise missiles. In their vertical launch cells, a total of 180 missiles were available. The target packages were assigned. The Bandar Abbas Revolutionary Guard Naval Base, its headquarters building, its command centers and ammunition depots, fuel storage dry docks, moored vessels radar installations. And then the secondary targets, the Abu Musa Island Naval Facility, the Revolutionary Guard Base on Kisham Island, the patrol boat station on Larak Island. At 2:03 p.m., the order was given. 60 Tomahawk missiles launched from both destroyers, a wall of fire and steel that thundered across the water. The missiles were now streaking toward the Iranian coast, traveling at 900 kilometers per hour. At 2:05 p.m., the second wave was activated. 12 FA-18 Super Hornets received updated targeting. The command came down, all Rhino flights proceed to the Iranian coast. The order was clear: target all Revolutionary Guard vessels. Sink everything that moves. High above Super Hornets thundered through the sky. They were armed with AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles and laser-guided bombs. At 2:08 p.m., the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Naval Command at Bandar Abbas saw the apocalypse bloom on their radar, 60 contacts screaming towards their position. Panic consumed the command center as air defenses roared to life. They scrambled to evacuate, but it was already too late. At 2:11 p.m., 60 Tomahawk cruise missiles arrived, a single synchronized devastating salvo. Their target, the Revolutionary Guard Naval Command Headquarters. A direct hit, the building imploded. The admiral commanding all IRGCN forces in the sector was killed instantly, his entire staff annihilated. The communication center was vaporized, all encrypted equipment utterly destroyed. Next, the ammunition depot erupted in a massive chain reaction explosion. The shockwave was felt 40 kilometers away. The fuel storage facility became an enormous fireball, its black smoke visible from space. The dry docks buckled and collapsed. 3 Revolutionary Guard missile boats, caught helpless under maintenance, were destroyed where they sat. At the piers, 7 patrol boats and 2 corvettes were torn apart by multiple impacts. Every last one sank at their berths. Their radar installations were systematically blinded. Every tower, every antenna, every tracking station was gone. The barracks were flattened. 300 IRGCN personnel died in the barracks alone. It all began at 1:47 p.m. in the Persian Gulf. 8 Iranian Revolutionary Guard boats made a fatal miscalculation. They tried to board the USS Tempest, a vessel carrying critical classified cargo. By 2:39 p.m., only 52 minutes later, the final bill had been paid. 43 Iranian vessels destroyed, 6 Revolutionary Guard naval bases completely eliminated, their regional command headquarters utterly obliterated. 762 GCRN casualties. The USS Tempest was safe. Her classified cargo remained secure, and her 3 wounded sailors would make a full recovery. Their target, a lone American patrol ship. It was a fatal miscalculation. The price, the utter destruction of their Revolutionary Guard naval forces. This is the story of Operation Swift Guardian. 52 minutes to total annihilation. A decisive coalition victory. Let this be a lesson. Never attempt to board a United States Navy vessel. Never fire on American air assets. And never interfere with American shipping. Because 52 minutes later, your entire naval force's history. Your bases will be ruins. Your command structure decapitated. The warning is clear. Do not board American ships.